Hi, and welcome back to Raising Your Strong-Willed Child. I'm your host, Sonali Vongchusiri, and today I am so excited for the conversation that we get to have with Izzy Kalman. Izzy, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited too.
Thank you. I'm so excited for you to be here. For everyone watching, Izzy is a nationally certified school psychologist and psychotherapist with over 4 decades of experience. He has developed a quick, fun, and powerful method for teaching people how to solve interpersonal problems, including bullying, without anyone's help or getting anyone in trouble. Izzy is the director of Bullies to Buddies and author of the book for young adults, Bullies to Buddies, How to Turn Your Enemies into Friends, as well as several other publications on bullying for kids and adults. Izzy writes for the Psychology Today blog, Resilience to Bullying, and is the world's foremost critic of the anti-bullying movement. Over 50,000 mental health professionals and educators have attended Izzy's seminars on bullying and anger control, and he is a sought-after speaker. And what I would like to add on a personal note is that your work, Izzy, and for everyone watching, this work touches me in a very deep and personal way, because I was that kid that was teased on the playground on a daily basis. I have albinism, I'm visually impaired, and I stood out. And the way I interpreted my difference was that it left me, I shut down. I was shy, fearful, withdrawn, disconnected, and had I known at the time how to respond from an empowered place, I know that my experience would have been different. And so I know this work matters. I know it because I lived it, and I know that this conversation, yes, I know for parents watching right now, your kids aren't in school. So, whether when they were in school, whether they were bullied or teased, or if they were one of the kids that would do some teasing, it doesn't really matter. This work also applies at home, and it can apply between siblings. It can even, it can work in any interpersonal situation.
Yeah, the truth is, now that kids are home, they're even more likely to be bullied, because kids get picked on by their siblings more than by kids in school. Or at least more get picked on by a sibling than by a kid in school. So this is useful for the home.
I love that you brought that up, because that's what I've been feeling too. I'm like, you know what, there's more of the teasing that happens on a day-to-day basis between siblings than probably, maybe it's not to the same degree as some of the very intense, very serious situations with schools, but it still happens on a daily basis between siblings. Oh, you're a baby, or this or that, whatever it is. But I know that it's something that all families face to one degree or another. So thank you for bringing that up. Can we start by just going into, how did you even get into the bullying field? How did this become your passion?
I felt it was thrown upon me. I'm a school psychologist. I wouldn't say I'm your typical school psychologist, because that wasn't the field I studied in school. I studied clinical psychology because I wanted to be a therapist. I really wanted to learn how to help people solve their problems, their social, emotional problems. So I studied clinical psychology. I earned a master's degree. This was in 1978. And I immediately moved to Israel. It was my childhood dream to move to Israel, and I needed a job. I had a friend who was a psychologist, and she suggested that I consider working in schools. So I looked into it, and they needed psychologists in schools, and it seemed like a good job. So I took it, and it really was a good job. I had complete freedom of what I can do with my time. So I used my clinical skills, the things I learned about interpersonal dynamics, group dynamics, therapy, And I started applying it in school with students, with teachers, with the principal, with parents. And the most common complaint that kids had was that other kids were picking on them. And I understood why it happens. I understood the sticks and stones slogan. I understood basic behavioral concepts. If somebody picks on you and you get upset, you're rewarding them. So they're going to keep on doing it to you. If you don't get upset, they leave you alone. But I discovered that I can teach this very well through role playing. And I was getting terrific results. And I also came to teaching teachers how to stop being made miserable by their students or their colleagues or the principal. I would meet with parents and I would teach them how to get along better with their own children, how to get their own kids to fight less with each other. So this was a big part of what I was doing for about 20 years. The thing that changed everything was the Columbine shooting. Are you familiar with that, Sonali?
Yes.
On April 20th, 1999, we're just about on the 21st anniversary of that shooting. These two young students, high school students, decided they're going to shoot up their school, destroy the school. And they made videos about why they're going to do this. And they presented themselves as victims of bullying. Kids are picking on us, they're spitting on us, they're doing terrible things to us, they're treating us like garbage, and that's why we're going to do this. But even before Columbine, there had been a series of school shootings in the United States and other places too, but researchers found that the great majority of kids who shoot up their schools are victims of bullying. It had been known even longer that many kids who commit suicide are victims of bullying.
Right.
So with Columbine, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was so horrific. Society decided we have to put a stop to bullying because victims of bullying are shooting up their schools and they're committing suicide. I mean, it's a decent conclusion to arrive to. We have to put a stop to bullying. But then this previously obscure field of bullying psychology stepped up to the plate. We have the solution. We're bullying experts. We know how to solve the problem. But when I saw what this bullying psychology teaches, I realized this can't possibly work. It's the opposite of everything I learned in psychology and philosophy. It's the opposite of everything I from practical experience, I discovered works. In fact, this field was actually recommending the things that make the problem worse. This isn't going to make things better, so I decide I have a mission here. I know the solution to the problem. I know what's wrong with the popular approach. And then I just left my job in school and I went independent to start spreading this knowledge around the world. So that's how I got involved. It was like thrown upon me.
Oh my goodness, I love that story. Yeah, like you were called to do this work. You were called to support because you had the background and the knowledge and the information. And I heard you say in that story that you saw what wasn't working and these bullying experts were promoting, what wouldn't work. So what specifically, when you look at what was developed through the anti-bullying movement, what specifically wasn't working? And then how would you approach that differently?
And not just wasn't working, couldn't work. When the bullying psychology first became popular, the public didn't know if this works yet or not. In fact, the research that was there indicated that it does work pretty well. But when I looked into it, how is this going to work? But it turns out that over the years, the research has shown that this approach does not work very well. In fact, it often makes the problem worse. But the original researcher, I don't know how he got good results, but the original good results were taken to be the proof of how effective it is. But other research has not supported it. Now, there are many reasons the popular approach to bullying doesn't work. But I'll tell you the two most important reasons. The first reason is that They're telling kids that if you're being bullied, you have to inform the school. Even if you can handle it by yourself, you have to inform the school. The school has to know about the bullying, otherwise how are they going to handle it? Now, this is good advice if the school actually knows how to make the situation better. But most schools don't know how to make it better. But the things that the bullying psychology was saying that the schools have to do is not likely to make it better. In fact, it's likely to make it worse. Sonali, let's say you and I are kids in school and you called me a bad name. So now I have to tell the school. So I tell my teacher, and the teacher sends you to the principal's office, and the principal interrogates you for bullying me. Is that going to make you like me better?
No, not at all.
You're going to hate me. Are you going to want to be nice to me afterwards, or are you going to want revenge?
Oh, I'm going to want revenge.
You're going to do something worse to me. Maybe instead of just hitting me, maybe you'll hit me. So it's a worse thing. You might tell all of your friends that I'm a snitch and they shouldn't talk to me and they should hate me. So you pick on me again. I do the right thing again. I tell the school and you get sent to the principal's office again. It gets worse and worse. And meanwhile, I don't understand it. The school told me to tell that if I tell, they're going to make it better, and it's only getting worse. And I read a lot of articles, news articles about bullying, and I get lots of stories from all over the world about bullying situations in school that led to suicide or serious violence. In almost every single case, the serious violence or the suicide happened after the school got involved. Because if the school does the typical thing, investigating, judging, punishing, it tends to make everything worse. So, and the second reason that bullying is becoming a bigger problem is that kids are being taught how terrible insults are. That's
a really important point. They're taught that the insults are terrible, and you're giving all the power to the insult.
You know, once upon a time ago, at least in the United States, kids were taught, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. This is a wonderful slogan. This slogan is the age-old solution to becoming a victim of verbal bullying. If you insult me and I get upset, you're going to keep on picking on me. If I don't get upset, it'll be no fun and you'll stop. But the sticks and stones slogan expresses the difference between physical aggression and verbal aggression. So now, if you hit me with a stick or a stone, does my attitude toward the stick or stone have any bearing on how much pain and damage it's going to cause me?
No.
If you hit me with a stick or a stone, you are the one who hurt me.
Yes.
If you call me an idiot, does my attitude towards the word have any bearing on how much pain and damage it's going to cause me?
Yes, absolutely.
It's completely up to me whether the insult is going to hurt me. So this is the difference between physical aggression and verbal aggression. And when kids understand that they don't have to let words hurt them, then they can stop being a victim of bullying or prevent themselves from becoming a victim. But today, the sticks and stones slogan is being called a lie. Today, kids are taught, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can scar me forever, or words can kill me. Kids are being taught today that to be called an idiot should cause them more pain and damage than to have their arm broken. I don't know about you, but I would rather be called an idiot or the worst insults in the world than to have my arm broken.
Yeah. And can I just say that, like, what I'm also hearing you say is that then we're also teaching them that once they're called an idiot, that's a disempowered place. Now they don't have any control in that situation.
They're being taught the word itself hurts you. It's the word that hurts you, and you can't do anything about it. In the bullying theory, if you're being bullied, you don't have the power to do anything about it.
And
This
what I'm
is,
also, oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, this is really empowering. We're teaching kids that if you're being picked on, you can't do anything about it. Tell the authorities will solve your problem. But
Yeah.
anyway, the kids are being taught that words are incredibly hurtful, and they'll get speakers coming into school telling their sob stories about how they were picked on in school and how it destroyed their lives and how they wanted to commit suicide. So the kids learn, oh, words are terribly hurtful. So when somebody does insult them, do they say, oh, no big deal? They think, oh my God, I'm being insulted. It's like being killed. This is terrible. So when they get upset, they get picked on even more, and it gets worse and worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to take what you're saying for a moment and just pull back because it's so powerful and filter it through the family lens. So now that all these families, like you said at the very beginning, these families are all together, and oftentimes you see this between siblings. And what I really heard you say that stuck out is, when parents step in and either punish or lecture or judge, that's actually, it's exasperating the issue. And also that what we're doing when we're stepping in and saying, oh, don't call this person that, or whatever it is, and we're creating within the sibling that was, the one teasing, this desire to get revenge later, this desire to get even, either in a more subtle way or in a more outward way the next time.
Right. If you pay attention, in the great majority of families in which there are kids fighting every day, the parents are working very hard to make the kids stop fighting, and they don't know why it's getting worse. In fact, the parents think if they didn't do anything, the kids would kill each other. But thanks for my intervention, they're still alive. It's an illusion. It's the parental intervention that tends to make the problem worse. The kids fight more intensively and more frequently. Because let's say, Sonali, let's say you're my sister. You're my sister. And we fight with each other. Let's say we're fighting over a toy. I want the toy, you want the toy. We're pulling it out of each other's hands. We're getting angry at each other. On a scale of 1 to 10 of what's objectively important to you in life, how does the toy rank? Objectively.
Objectively important. It's a 1. It's not very important. Yeah.
Yeah, you can play with another toy. You can read a book. You can watch TV.
Right.
You can go outside and play. There are countless things that both of us can do rather than playing with this toy. It seems important to us, but it's not really important. Once upon a time ago, this toy never existed, and people were still happy. So now we're fighting over something that has an importance level of 1. But now our parent hears us fighting and comes along to stop the fight. So now the moment our parent comes along to stop us from fighting, the situation facing us completely changes. So now on a scale of 1 to 10, of what's objectively important to us in life, how does our parent rank?
10. Absolutely.
There's nothing more important to us than our parent. The last thing in the world I want is for our parent to take your side against me. That's going to make me very hurt and angry. But it's also the last thing you want. You want the parent on your side. So now instead of fighting over the toy, we're fighting over our parent. We try to convince our parent that I'm right and you're wrong. This doesn't make us love each other better. We're fighting over the most important person in our lives. But let's say our parent hears us out and decides that I'm right this time and I should get the toy. You and I are still angry at each other over the toy. We didn't work it out between us. But now, not only are you angry at me, you're angry at our parent because the parent took my side against you. And now, not only are you angry at me because I prevented you from playing with the toy, you're even angrier at me now because I got our parent against you. Yeah. So whichever way that our parent decided, we're even more angry at each other than we were before, and one of us is angry at the parent. So now, if the parent judged against you, you want to even up the score. You're going to look to create another fight and try to get our parent on your side against me. But I'm busy doing the same thing all the time too. I'm creating fights to try to get the parent on my side against you. And our parent doesn't understand why we're fighting so hard and getting so worked up over such nonsense, this stupid toy. We are not fighting over nonsense. We're fighting over our parent, the most important person in the world to us. The parent just can't see. They think we're fighting over the toy because that's what it was about. We're fighting over them.
Oh my goodness, you just broke my world open. That is such a profound insight, that when those sibling squabbles happen, it's not about the toy once the parent steps in, it's about the parent. They're fighting over the parent. And that is one that they do not want to lose. That is why it's so important.
Most parents believe that, everybody wants to raise children that are moral, good moral children. Most parents believe that for them to teach their children to behave morally, they have to judge the fights between their children. They can't let the kids get away with fighting. They have to play judge. They have to show them what's right and what's wrong. So now let's say we're adults and we're neighbors. And I don't like the way you're parking your car. I feel that you're parking in my driveway, and I take you to court because you're violating my property rights or something. Are you going to admit to the judge that you're guilty?
No.
Are you going to like me if I take you to court?
No.
Now, judges don't make people love each other. The job of a judge is to decide who's wrong and who deserves to be punished. But judges don't make people love each other. And if I take you to court, we're going to hate each other at the end of the trial. And if you lost the trial, you're going to hate me even more, and you're going to hate the judge too. Judges are not popular people. There have been judges who were killed by people who lost judgments in their courts of law. But we play judge between our children, and we don't know how terribly we're hurting them. One of the worst things that we can do to our children is to play judge between them. Our children want to feel that we love them and we're on their side. When we get in the middle, they're trying to turn us against the other one. And whichever one we judge against, we have hurt that one terribly. Why would we want to do something like that to our children? But everybody thinks it's the right thing to do. But in schools are being mandated to do this now. Anti-bullying laws require schools to play judge. And they wonder why things aren't getting better.
I hear you. Wow, I hear you. So now the question that's begging to be asked is, okay, so what do you do in those situations, either in school or at home? We'll stick to, either one. I'd love to hear both examples. I think it would support parents in both situations. Kids might not be in school right now, but eventually they'll be going back to school. And right now they're at home. But when you've got that teasing, bullying going on at home, how do you approach that? How do you teach kids how to show up differently in that situation?
First of all, in general, I teach parents to stay out of kids' fights. Let them deal with each other directly. I've met countless parents who told me, my kids fight all the time. When I'm not home, they get along so nicely. But when I'm home, they fight so much. It's because they don't realize that the kids are fighting because of them. If you leave kids alone, they tend to get along pretty well. They have no choice. They have to figure out how to get along with each other. It's not a perfect system. Sometimes kids will take advantage of the fact that there's no adult there and they'll be abusive to their siblings. Sometimes it does happen that way. But in most cases, if you leave kids alone, they learn to get along. Because if you're my sister, we live together. We see each other every day. You are my playmate. If there isn't a friend to come around, I have to play with you. Right. I'm going to discover that if I'm mean to you, you're going to cry. You're not going to like me. You're not going to want to play with me. So what do? My sister doesn't want to play with me. So if I want you to play with me, I have to be nicer to you. But another thing that'll happen, let's say you're my sister, and let's say you're my younger sister. I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you. And I hurt you, and you cry. You're crying, you're screaming your head off. If our parent is nearby and our parent comes along, let me change the order of how I explain it. Let's say I hurt you and you cry. There's no adult around, but I see that you're crying. I realize I was mean to you. I made you cry. I'm going to feel bad seeing my little sister crying, and I made you cry. So I'll say, oh, I didn't mean that. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'll apologize to you. I'll try to get you to be happier. And I'll do it by myself because I don't really want to hurt you. You're my sister. I love you. But the problem happens if, let's say I was too mean to you and you're crying, but now our parent comes along. Instead of me being busy with your pain, I want to avoid getting in trouble. So instead of seeing that I'm the bad guy here, now I feel, oh no, I'm going to be a victim. My parents are going to punish me. My sister is getting me in trouble. So now I have to defend myself. I didn't do anything. Sonali is making it up. She's faking or something, or she started with me. So now instead of feeling guilty for having made you cry, I'm now blaming you and saying it's your fault and you're a liar. But if our parent didn't come along, if I didn't have any serious neurological or psychiatric condition, I would feel bad for hurting you, and I'll get you to calm down, and we'll continue playing. And if we learn to get along with each other directly, we'll be socially smarter. We will learn how to solve our problems. But if we get used to our parent coming along and saving us and solving our problem for us, we don't learn social skills. We learn that the way to solve our problems is to get an adult along to solve the problem for us. That is not a very useful life skill.
I hear you. Wow, and that's powerful. And so now when you're in school situations, how do you teach kids to stop being bullied? How do you teach them to shift that?
Okay.
Without going to the parent or without going to the school administrator?
Okay. There are two things that I do if I work regularly in a school. I will first let everybody know that if you have a bullying problem, if kids are being mean to you, come to me for help. I'll teach you what to do. So I work with kids individually, but I'll also give lessons in all of the classes, or at least from grade 2 and up. Before that, it's usually not a big problem. But I'll go from class to class. I'll give these lessons. I'll come back after a week or two. I'll review. I'll find out how the kids did with it. I'll teach them some more things. And after a few sessions, just about everybody knows what to do and things get better. But the thing is, you have to know what to teach. I have developed, and the philosophy behind what I teach is not new. There's nothing new about this. It's basic psychology. It's basic wisdom. All wise people throughout the world understand these things. But it's the way that I teach it that makes it more effective. So I'm going to show you how I teach kids to deal with verbal attacks, because most of what we call bullying is verbal. Insults, rumors, and even most physical fights begin with insults. So the most important thing is to teach kids how to deal with insults. And the exercise I'm going to do with you now, the listeners can also do with their children.
Perfect.
So I'm going to teach you, Sonali, let's say you're a kid. I'm going to teach you how to get kids to stop picking on you.
All right.
To teach you this, I'm going to play a game with you. Your job is to insult me. And don't let me stop you. If I can stop you, I win the game and you lose the game. Sonali, don't worry about hurting my feelings. It's only a game. It's make-believe. I want you to do a good job. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Go ahead.
Okay. You want me to start now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, here I go. Shaking it up. You're a baby.
I'm not a baby.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not a baby. What are you talking about? Look at me. I'm grown. I'm big.
I like your little baby chubby cheeks.
I'm not a baby. Stop using that word with me.
You're a baby. Goo goo
I'm not a baby.
gaga.
You stop calling me a baby right now.
Goo goo gaga.
It's not funny. I am not a baby. You have no right to call me a baby.
You're an idiot baby.
I'm not an idiot either. I'm smart.
You're idiot baby.
I am not
And
an
you're
idiot
not smart.
baby. I'm smart and I'm not a baby at all. I'll show you
I'm
what
sorry.
kind of baby I am. You want this going through your face? Do you think a baby can do that to you?
I'm sorry, I don't understand baby talk.
It's not baby talk. It's grown-up talk. Now you apologize to me. You have no right to call me a baby or an idiot. Stop laughing. It's not funny. Get that smile off your face.
Goo goo gaga.
Stop making fun of me. Okay, good job. I give up, Sonali.
Thank you.
You did a very nice job. I tried really hard to get you to stop insulting me. Did I succeed?
No.
Was it hard to insult me?
Yes. Well, I mean, like, was it hard to keep going? No, it was easy. It's hard for me at the beginning to insult you, but yes, it was.
Yeah, but once you got started, it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. I was smiling.
Yes, if you
I was
watch
like,
the
come
video,
on, but I was
you're
enjoying.
smiling.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, you're probably a good person, right, Sonali? Aren't you a good person?
Yes.
You're insulting me. I'm getting upset, and you're enjoying it. Such a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, everybody enjoys it when I get upset. It's human nature.
Yeah.
No, we think the bullies are them. It's other people. No, it's us. I can put you in a situation where you enjoy bullying me. So, Sonali, if you want to insult me, can I force you to stop?
No.
It's only words. It's your mouth and brain. If you want to insult me, you're going to insult me.
Right.
You did a nice job. We're going to play the game again. Insult me and don't let me stop you.
Okay. You're a baby.
Well, I happen to think you're very mature.
Goo goo gaga.
Well, that's kind of like baby talk.
Yeah, you understand that language, don't you?
Yeah, but I also know that you're mature and you can also use big words.
Like you're a big baby.
I think you're a big, mature person.
Yeah, not like you, because you're a baby.
Well, I don't think you're a baby.
So I still think you're a baby.
So you like to call me a baby?
Yeah, I do.
If you want to call me a baby, be my guest.
Okay. Baby. Baby.
If it makes you happy, it makes me happy.
You're happy being called a baby?
I'm happy if you're happy. If you want to call me a baby, it's okay. But you probably don't get called baby much, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because you don't look like a baby at all.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. See, now you're thanking me.
I don't want to. You confused me. Yeah.
Okay. This time, did you want to keep on calling me a baby?
No, I got confused. I was confused.
Yeah, you tried a few times, and you tried the gaga goo goo. It didn't work. Nothing got me upset. It was no fun. And you stopped, and eventually I got you to even thank me. Because what I was really doing, I was using the golden rule. Most people don't really know what the golden rule comes to teach us. They think it means it's important to be nice to everybody and don't be mean. We don't need the golden rule for such a simple lesson. It's obvious that it's important to be nice and it's bad to be mean. What we need the golden rule for is to teach people what to do when they're mean to us. What people should do when others are mean to them. Sonali, do you have a hard time dealing with people when they're nice to you?
No, it's easy when people are nice to me.
Yeah. The hard part is knowing what to do when people are mean to you. That's the hard part. And our nature is for reciprocity. Reciprocity means I'm going to treat you the way you treat me. And everybody is biologically programmed for that. Sonali, when somebody is nice to you, do you feel like being mean back or nice back?
When somebody's nice to me, I feel like being nice back.
When somebody is mean to you, do you feel like being nice back or mean back?
Mean.
Everybody is like that. We can control it, but it's what our guts tell us. To be nice to those who are nice to us and mean to those who are mean to us. And the reason we're like that is because we're biologically programmed for life in nature. You know, we have animal bodies. Animals don't live in civilization with schools and hospitals and police. They live in nature. They had to do their own fighting and survival. In nature, reciprocity is a good strategy, because if you're nice to me in nature, it makes sense to be nice back. We'll cooperate. It'll be good for both of us.
Right.
But if you're mean to me in nature, you may be trying to kill me. Maybe you want to feed me to your children. If I'm going to be nice to you when you're mean to me, I'm going to be dead. So we're programmed to be mean to those who are mean to us, because if you're trying to kill me, I have to try to stop you.
Right.
If necessary, I have to kill you before you kill me. So that's what we're biologically programmed for, reciprocity, to be nice to those who are nice to us and mean to those who are mean to us. But today, Sonali, we don't live in nature. We don't live in the jungle. Today, we have the rule of law. We're not allowed to injure or kill each other, no matter how angry we are. We don't eat each other for dinner. Today, if I live by reciprocity, I have very low control over my relationships. Because what will happen is, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice back and we'll get along, we'll be friends. But if you're mean to me, I'll be mean back and you'll be mean back to me, and we'll be fighting and we'll be enemies. So I tell myself, I know that you are biologically programmed for reciprocity just like me. So even if you're mean to me, I'm going to be nice back to you. And very quickly you're going to start being nice to me, because you're biologically programmed to treat me the way I treat you. So you were calling me baby. I was telling you, oh, but you're so mature. It makes you feel good. You tried for a while to get me upset. Nothing worked. And then eventually you're telling me thank you. I made you be nice to me. I became in control and I was the winner. So this is what I teach kids. This is what I teach kids, how to use the golden rule to be the winner. But you create win-win situations. Both sides win. You also win when I tell you you're so mature, you're so nice. Everybody wins.
Right. I was like, oh, you think that of me, even after I'm calling you a baby? And so,
but I'm
wow,
also letting you know that calling me baby does not have the power to upset me. It's okay. If it makes you happy, go ahead.
Right. And then you're also letting yourself know it doesn't have the power to upset me. You know, that it doesn't have the power to upset you. And I love that you brought in the piece about why biologically we're programmed for this. That made so much sense to me, why we have this in our nature. And thank you for sharing that.
I'm glad you appreciated that.
Yeah.
Listen, I've taught this a couple of thousand times already, so you know, I know this pretty well. I know how to explain it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love this. So I know that for everyone watching, like, you can feel how powerful Izzy's work is, and I feel how powerful it is. And I was sharing with Izzy, like I shared with you, how I was teased as a kid. People would be like, "Whitey, you're so white, Snow White." And had I, like, instead of cowering and hiding, had said something like, "Yeah, I'm super white. I'm really good at hide and seek in the wintertime, you know, because I blend in with the snow." And I could have felt good about myself. I could have shifted the energy, or just, you know, like played with it and not let it have, like, I chose for it to hurt me as a child and to disempower me. And then now seeing him, and that's some of the work that I've done with myself, is, oh, how could I have responded? And how would I have liked to respond? And how important that is to teach my children and to teach the children in the world how to be able to do that. And I think,
everybody deserves to be taught how to do this, because it's part of life. There's no such thing as a life in which everybody is always nice to you. It's not going to happen. But by the way, in your childhood, had you known this, you could have even become the most popular kid in your school because you were noticed.
Absolutely.
Everybody was noticing you already because of your white skin, because of your eye condition. They were paying attention to you. You could have used this to your advantage and you would have become the most popular kid. Oh, there's this girl in my school and she has such a white skin and her eyes do funny things, but she's so cool and she's so nice and she's so much fun to be with. You could have become the most popular kid in school.
Right, right. Because, and what I did instead was I was trying to hide from it, trying to pretend like I wasn't standing out already, but very clearly I was. And like you said, I had the power to have shifted that. And I just think that that's really neat. And same thing with kids in school today. They have the power to shift those relationships with their bullies or with their relationships with their siblings so that their siblings really see them and honor them and respect them and cherish their time together.
Yeah. And by the way,
Yeah.
this is good not only for children, it's good for adult relationships also. It's the same process. Do you mind if I do a short role play with you about marriage?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's say we're married and you're going to complain to me that I don't make enough money. I don't work hard enough. I don't make enough money. Your friends' husbands make more money than me. Go ahead.
Okay.
And be
Gosh,
nasty.
I wish.
Be nasty. Purposely be nasty to me.
Okay. I wish you made more money. It's not fair that we're always scrambling to get by.
Everybody's scrambling and life is difficult. You know, I work very hard.
No, they're not. Look at our neighbors. They can send their kids to whatever activities they want to. We can't do that.
Okay, so the neighbor's a lawyer. He makes a lot of money. I'm not a lawyer. What do you want from me? I'm just I work in a school. I get a low salary.
Yeah, but you spend so many hours at work. It's not even like I don't get it. You're spending so much time there, and
I'm an educator. I am educating children. You should be proud of me.
yeah, well, I just wish that we could do some of the fun things, that we could take the vacations that we want to take, that we could go
There are
where we want to go.
A vacation isn't necessarily a lot of fun. A vacation can be very stressful. Some people are miserable on vacation. Don't think that you can't have a good time at home. And you're so materialistic. Had I known that all you cared about was money, you think I would have married you? Okay.
Yeah, that was good. So good.
Sonali, is this going to make you want to stop complaining that I don't make enough money?
No, what it does is I don't feel understood. I don't feel heard. I'm just like, okay, he doesn't get it.
And was I making you happy that you married me?
No.
You're going to regret that you married me. You're going to be criticizing me all of the time. You're not going to want to have sex with me. We're going to be miserable. Now we're going to do it again. And this time I'm going to treat you by the golden rule. Start again. Complain that I don't make enough money.
Okay, gosh, we don't have enough money. I don't think you're working so many hours and we still can't do the same stuff that our neighbors do.
I know, it's terrible. How do our neighbors get by so well?
I don't know. They have a job where they're actually making money. And they can send their kids to activities and afford nice things and take vacations.
Yeah, I wish we could do that too. I never knew that if you get a job working in a school, it can be so hard to pay your bills. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I married you, I wanted nothing more than to provide you with everything you wanted. And I'm so disappointed that I can't do that. You deserve the best of everything. You deserve more than our neighbor's wife.
You do too.
The truth is, I have something worth much more than money. I have you. Okay, let me stop here.
That was so good. Yeah.
If I do it this way, are you going to keep on complaining that I don't make enough money?
No, I'm not.
If I do it this way, would you regret having married me?
Not at all.
Even though I don't make much money and we struggle, you're not going to regret that you married me. But what I did was the first time I was treating you like an enemy for criticizing me. The second time I treated you like a friend, which is what you are. If you're my wife, you're my best friend in the world. And look
Right.
how much better it comes out. And it's so easy. The first time I'm getting stressed out, my blood pressure is going up. The second time it was easy. It's just that I'm using my brain differently.
Yeah. And what you did is you reconnected to why we were together and what was really important, and you brought it all into the present moment. It was really powerful.
Yeah. And if afterwards you complain about money, you're going to feel like a real jerk.
Right. Well, and it doesn't even matter. That's the thing. It didn't matter anymore because
Yeah.
you got present about, so it's not even like you don't even want to complain about money because
Right.
all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I got something even better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
But
beautiful example.
But this has to be taught because it's contrary to our basic nature. If it were our nature, then we would get along without needing any additional education. But it's against our nature because our nature is for life in the jungle or the desert. We live in civilization, the rules are different. So we have to teach the different rules for being successful in civilization versus nature.
Oh, wow. I am blown away by both examples. I really love how they shift energy. They, like you said, they create friends, right? They create this energy of, okay, we're getting along and you're my friend. I'm treating you like my friend in both situations.
Yeah.
So let's ground this in for all the parents watching today. I know that they are really excited. I know everyone watching is really excited to bring this into their home and
I
try
hope
this.
so.
Yeah, yeah. So I know that that's this is what you want to share as your tool. Can you walk us through it? What you want parents to try today, how you want them to approach it with their kids or
Well,
spouses?
Well, with their spouses, all they need to do is to practice what I'm showing. So let's say you're a woman who's listening and you have a husband who's critical all the time, and you're getting upset because your husband is critical. Don't get upset. Tell yourself that if your spouse is criticizing you, it's because they care about you and love you and want you to be a better person. So thank them, appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate it. But it takes the sting away and the person has no power over you. But they like you better because you're not resisting them, you're not arguing with them, you're not saying they're wrong. They feel listened to and then they like you. So in your practice, you can try it. Or with your child, if you're a parent and your child gets you annoyed all the time. You're getting annoyed because you want the child to stop doing the annoying things. Well, guess what? You're getting annoyed makes them want to do it even more. Because, we're both adults, Sonali, and you had a great time driving me nuts in these role plays. Imagine you're a little kid, I'm your parent, I'm a giant. You can drive me crazy and how much fun that is. So we have to show our kids that they can't get us angry easily. They can insult us, they can criticize us, but we don't get angry at them. Now, I don't have time to give a full lesson about what parents should do with their children, but if you get angry with your children easily, they can't respect you because we look like idiots when we get angry. Plus, they're angry back at us, so they keep on doing the bad things to us. So treat them like a friend. Don't get angry at them. Don't be defensive. Don't attack them, and things will start getting better. But let's say you're a parent and you have children that insult each other a lot and they're getting upset. You can play this game with them. You tell them, I want to teach you what to do when you're being insulted. I want you to insult me and don't let me stop you. So the kids insult you, and the first time you get angry at them, don't talk to me like that. You can't say that. It's not true. I'm not an idiot. I'm not ugly, whatever. The
Mhm.
kids will have a great time. They'll keep on insulting you. They'll laugh their heads off. After a while, you stop. You say, okay, I give up. You did a great job. If you want to insult me, can I stop you? And the kids will say no. So you say, we're going to play again. Insult me and don't let me stop you. But the second time, you're calm, you're nice back, you appreciate what they're saying, you compliment them back, and the kids will see that it's no fun anymore and they stop before long. So this way you teach the kids the real reason so-and-so, your brother is picking on you all the time, or a kid in school is picking on you all the time. It's because you're getting upset. Don't get upset, be nice back, and you'll see that they leave you alone.
Mhm.
Now, there's another thing that we can do with our children to teach them that words don't have to upset them. Let's say, Sonali, you're my daughter, and your sister just called you a bad name. Let's say she called you an idiot. So you'll come and tell me, Dad, my sister called me an idiot.
My sister just called me an idiot.
Really? You know what? I'm a bigger idiot than you are.
But she still called me an idiot.
Well,
She
I'm
called
a
me an
bigger
idiot.
idiot. Well, tell her she should call me an idiot because I'm a bigger idiot than you are.
And then I'd go run and tell my sister, go call Dad an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't I make you want to laugh when I say this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes you
Yeah.
laugh. You know, it's
It
a
does.
joke. You're not expecting this. You're expecting me to go reprimand and or punish your sister. You're not
Right.
expecting, dear, I'm a bigger idiot than you are.
No,
But
I
if
get to be
I,
the
your
biggest idiot.
parent,
Yeah.
I'm your parent, if I can call myself an idiot, you realize it's nothing to get upset about.
Right. Right. I love that. And I find that that's so helpful with my kids. Like they said I'm bad. Oh yeah? Tell them I'm worse, and like just don't tell me I'm bad and then right away it's like you're bad and the energy shifts. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're
So for
welcome.
everyone watching, try that today. Try teaching your kids how to approach this conflict by modeling the role play for them. And let us know how this goes. Hop into the Facebook group and share with Izzy and me how this goes for you. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your feedback. And we know that this is really important, especially right now. This is present between siblings, between spouses, and on all dimensions. So I know thank you, Izzy, for sharing this powerful, important information. And I know you
Thank you.
also, go ahead.
No, thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to spread it some more.
Thank you. And I know you also are offering everyone listening a free gift. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I have 3 manuals that I'm making available for free. One of them is for kids to read, not young kids, but like 9 or 10 and up. It's called How to Stop Being Teased and Bullied Without Really Trying. It teaches kids why they're being picked on and how to stop being picked on without anybody's help, without getting anybody in trouble. Because if you go and rat on other kids, they hate you. You're a snitch now. So this is how to stop being picked on all by yourself. The second free manual is called A Revolutionary Guide to Reducing Aggression Between Children. And this is good both for parents and for teachers because it's pretty much the same dynamics. It explains in great detail, much more detail than I explained here, what happens when we get in the middle of the problems between kids, when we start playing judge and deciding who's right and who's wrong. It shows in detail how we unwittingly make everything worse. We hurt the personality development of the children, and they fight endlessly. And it shows how to get them to stop fighting so much with hardly any effort. With less effort, you get kids who fight less. And the third one is called The Golden Rule Solution to Racism. Today it's considered the worst kind of insults are insults about people's race or religion or gender or sexual orientation. That's considered worse than any other kind of insult. It's the same dynamics, but it also shows how we can teach people to handle racial insults in a way that makes the relationship with the person insulting you better. They respect you more. They think, oh, wow, your race isn't so bad after all. I thought you were terrible. You're not so terrible. And you can do it all by yourself without getting people in trouble. And the people respect both you and your group more.
Right, right. I love that. And that's really important because once you get somebody in trouble, it's like, oh, you're sending them messages about what you think about them. And yeah, and it doesn't ever solve anything.
When you get people in trouble, they want revenge. And revenge is usually worse than what was done to the person who wants the revenge. You insult me and I want to smash your face in because you got me in trouble.
I just love that. And thank you for sharing generously these 3 manuals that I know that they are, I'm excited to read them. I know they're going to be beneficial for everyone listening today, everyone joining us today. And I appreciate you sharing.
Okay, my pleasure. And thank you, Sonali, so much for inviting me to do this with you.
Thank you. And before we hop off, do you have any words of encouragement for the parents?
What I would like to say is that they shouldn't expect things to get better right away. Sometimes they do, especially if it's dealing with yourself. But let's say you're trying to deal better with the fights between your children. Things are going to get worse in the beginning. Because let's say, Sonali or my sister, we've been fighting every day for years and our parents get in the middle. And all of a sudden they stop getting in the middle. We're going to think something went wrong with them. They can't stand our fights. They can't let us fight. So we're going to fight harder in the beginning to try to get our parents involved. So usually when we make a change in the way we deal with a situation, it gets worse in the beginning. So parents shouldn't be discouraged if in the beginning they see the situation getting worse. Or let's say you're my daughter and you've been disrespectful to me every day, like all day long for months or years, and all of a sudden I stop getting upset by you. You're going to try even harder to upset me because you really want to upset me. So in the beginning, it's likely to get worse. So parents shouldn't give up quickly and think, oh, it's only getting worse. It does work, but it gets worse in the beginning, in most cases.
And that's really important information because sometimes you think, okay, I've got the solution. Now it's all going to be better. And what I'm hearing you say is be patient with yourself, be patient with your kids. They will get there. Just let them get there at their own time. Yeah.
Now, one more thing. I am not claiming that what I teach is going to work in 100% of situations or for 100% of people. Some people don't succeed with my approach. So, for some people, it won't work. And for a variety of reasons, sometimes you're dealing with somebody who really does have a serious neurological or psychiatric condition, and these techniques don't work with them. They'll take advantage of us, or it just doesn't work. But for the great majority of people who don't have serious neurological or psychiatric conditions, this should work.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that also brings some peace because I'm sure some of the parents watching are, there's a whole range of situations with kids and families, and just to know that, it's something to try. And at the same time, be open to what your experience with it is and trust yourself in the process as well. Thank you for being here and sharing the depth and beauty of your work with everyone listening. It's powerful, and I think it's freeing as well for parents and for kids. So thank you for sharing that and sharing your heart so openly. And thank you everyone for joining us. We appreciate you sharing your time with us and coming open, coming willing, coming committed to trying something new. And I will see you tomorrow with another interview. Bye.